Laura Ingraham decided, I think it was last night actually, to devote a significant portion of her show to attacking a progressive journalist and labeling her a terrorist because she disagrees with Laura Ingraham on some issues. So why was Talia Lavin of a progressive journalist brought up? Well, she was recently hired by NYU to be an adjunct professor. She's gonna teach a course. That's it. And so Laura Ingraham, with her audience of millions, decided to attack this woman. And here's a section of her doing that.
They want to circumscribe speech. They want to take players off the field altogether. So she's just a hit gal. She's another, media matters. They don't want to argue. They don't want to win the debate. They want to search and destroy. That's what they do. That's why Fox viewers are so loyal to this network, because we refuse to bow, refuse to cave in to these kind of terroristic tactics, and that's what they are. They're little journo-terrorists.
Okay, so during that segment, which was designed to search and destroy this progressive journalist, also Laura Ingraham, a huge fan of free speech, this especially at university. So now a university hires her. Laura Ingraham doesn't agree with it, so she wants to get her fired. So again, big proponent of free speech. Does that segment about her, calls her a journo-terrorist. And so Talia finds out about this, finds that she's getting tons of comments about it. And so she tweeted, here's Laura Ingraham displaying my face to 2.5 million viewers and calling me a little journo-terrorist. I am 29, I have no full-time job. I am teaching a single course for $7,000 as an adjunct. This is insane and irresponsible. It is incitement, it is not okay. But it is Fox News. And what did she do? She participated in the sort of stuff that Media Matters does, which was they simply revealed what people on the right say. And that looks bad for the people on the right because the things they say are bad. And that is search and destroy from the point of view of the right. If you quote me, that is the most devastating attack possible, and I will get you for it. And so just briefly, I want to mention, I'm going to jump ahead one graphic because I reached out to Talia and she provided a statement for TYT about this. She said, I have lived through the demonization by the right that every journalist fears most. I refuse to give up, back down, or stop speaking out. The polite journalists who give credence to bad faith attacks in order to avoid blowback are part of what make operatives like Ingraham and Levin, who wrote about my teaching posts with the express goal of restarting a right-wing outrage cycle, so effective. It is long past time we as a profession stopped giving them the ammunition of our fear. And so she's terrified right now because she has received multiple death threats over the crime of being hired to teach a course.
Yep, I can't wait for when we have tuition-free college, and probably won't apply to NYU, proud alum with debt. But I mean, listen, Fox believes that higher learning is essentially terrorism. College is terrorism, and I can't wait for the Ingraham angle on college is terrorism, because this is essentially where we're headed, and this is, like, I don't even know who this is for. Like, you look at this and you're like, why? Like, right-wingers don't even know what Media Matters is, right? They look at this like, why do I care about this young woman teaching a journalism course as an adjunct?
Well, I would say that it's part of a multi-decade campaign to destroy the idea of expertise in education.
That's exactly right.
And terrorism.
We cannot allow them to succeed at this, because the same people who argue that they're the protectors of free speech are the very same individuals who are going out of their way to target professors and to silence them or get them to resign or to get them fired. So Turning Point USA. Turning Point USA has put together a target list of so-called progressive professors, and that is so incredibly irresponsible and dangerous. Look, it's one thing to disagree politically. It's one thing to debate the other side, but it's another thing to incite violence or target violence toward them. And that's what we're seeing with the right wing. And I just want to ask Laura Ingraham, what is the point of fear-mongering about immigrants coming in the country and committing crime? She talks about them as if they're all gonna come in and they're threatening all of our lives. No, you threaten people's lives. You do it on a regular basis. You are a threat to the American people.
Yep.
And this is your bread and butter. You're profiting from it, so you think it's okay. And then you get angry when people will go after your advertisers and encourage them to no longer advertise on your program. Well, I would ask, what advertiser wants to be associated with a woman who's targeting violence towards someone who has absolutely no power? Yes, she's a journalist, but as you can tell, she's not someone who has your platform.
She should take her class.
Yeah.
Don't you think Ingram would learn a whole hell of a lot from Talia?
That's what a statement from Media Matters suggested, that she and others could learn a lot.
Maybe if Laura Ingraham actually spent time doing real journalism, then she wouldn't have to do low-hanging, horribly insightful stories like this. Also, you know what I mean by insightful. Also, I forgot what I was going to say.
Can I jump in? I have one thing to say. So I actually met Talia last week. Well, we were both invited to speak at the UN about what it's like to be a woman working in journalism and media in this digital era. And it was about our unique experiences as women dealing with these types of threats. And she's gone through very similar things, so I can relate to her. I can relate to her a lot. And I just want people to understand that these threats, I think I minimize them a lot on the show because I don't want to play victim and I don't want to distract from the news stories so much. But it has taken a huge toll on my mental health, but not more importantly, but also has taken a toll on my finances because you have to take pretty extreme measures to prevent yourself from getting hurt. So, it's so incredibly hard to hide your real address. Yeah. And so you gotta create shell corporations and you gotta put the property under a shell corporation. That costs $800 a year. You gotta file taxes for that corporation. That's a minimum $300 in addition to that. I'm not making a ton of money at TYT. Talia's not making a ton of money, right? And so that's just a little bit of the expenses that you have to deal with just to be able to protect yourself from these types of threats.
Yeah.
Fox News knows exactly what they're doing. I mean, listen, I'm all for them. If they wanna do like stories like this, just pay for our security detail. Pay for AOC's extra security, pay for Anna's security, pay for Talia's security. Like, I'm a nobody, you don't want me. But anyway, but no, it's like they know exactly what they're doing. Their supporters, their followers of their extremist ideas have done it before. They've threatened people's lives. They've carried out, shootings, and have placed bombs in many different homes, etc. Like, I don't do they want this?
Well, I mean, God only knows. I mean, look at what they have talent-wise to work with. So in terms of what she can learn by going to a class like that, so I was looking at a little bit of that's a shot from her show. And what does she have? With all the resources Fox News has, I compare her to what my show, The Damage Report Today. We have a smaller entire staff than she has makeup artists. And we used our resources to have 2 guests on. We had Lisa Hymas on from Media Matters to talk about climate change coverage in the media. And we had Hassan Al-Tayeb, who's an anti-war activist, on. They have endless resources. They had a criminal hack propagandist, Dinesh D'Souza, on to comment on the news. That's what they use their lofty position. She should take 1 class with Talia, and she could learn so much.
The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.